Hi everyone, welcome once again to our YouTube channel. Here we talk about everything related to language studies for those who want to actually learn French language, Spanish language, or Chinese language. We also assist with people who want to actually process their immigration to Canada. And if, for instance, you want to prepare for exams like IELTS, TEF Canada, or TCF Canada exams, then you can actually reach out to us on any of those examinations. Just as you know it, every day by 3 p.m., we actually talk about questions that we got from our JAPA to Canada in 2023 Q&A sessions. And today is not going to be different. In our talk with A.O.S Q&A session today, we are going to be taking a very cogent question that was asked by one of our attendees during our just concluded webinar Q&A session. And this question is actually very important because a lot of people, even I included, actually make use of this pathway to relocate to Canada. So it's very important you should actually learn or get to know exactly what this pathway is actually stating. And I would first of all put the question in today's chat section. The very first question states that it's the question 150, and it states that I have been working on study visa for some time now, but I was advised by my blood brother in Canada to just focus on getting TEF results for OINP. For those who don't know OINP stands for Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program. He said, "Your thoughts, sir?" And this question was asked by Mr. Gabriel Usman from Nigeria. Thank you very much, Mr. Gabriel. This is a very wonderful question because, as I said earlier, I also actually had to leave one of this in order to pursue the other. And my reasons were not far-fetched, as at the time I was actually working on my own relocation, the competition for that time. So if you don't have some certain criteria, if you don't meet some certain criteria, you would not even be considered to be part of the express entry profile or to have a profile in the pool, talk less of getting selected or invited to relocate to Canada. And what am I saying? I am saying that yes, if you are someone just like Mr. Gabriel who has been working on study visa for some time for Canada, there's nothing wrong with it. In fact, a lot of people have been relocating to Canada under the study route because why? It is one of the fastest ways for you to relocate to Canada temporarily, however, because you won't be able to relocate to Canada permanently under the study route. Do you understand? It is a temporary residency pathway that allows you to become an international student in Canada first before you actually are able to process your permanent residency after perhaps a year of staying there as an international student, or 2 years, or 3 years, or more. Now, he said that I was advised by my blood brother in Canada. Now, many people in Canada know the reality of this already. They know if you come to Canada as an international student, you would have a lot of restrictions. Do you understand? You would, for instance, someone also reached out to me today telling me about our own family member who has even gotten admitted in a popular college in Canada. And she actually has family members that she wants to take along to Canada. Now, as I do say it, there's nothing wrong having family members coming with you to Canada. But if you don't have someone that will take care of those family members while you are in Canada and you are studying, it is a kind of easy way, easy route, a cheap reason for the visa officer to actually refuse your application for visa permits or study permits. So we do advise people, instead of working under study visa, if you have a family that you want to go with, maybe your spouse together with your children, or even only if you are just going with your children, it is always better if you don't have provisions, enough money to pay for caregivers. If you don't know how much caregivers actually make, it's very simple. Just Google it, caregiver salary in Canada. As simple as that. You will know that they earn per hour, and if you sum up all those money, you understand, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, you'll see that if you are even working as an international student, after you have been given maybe an employer restricted work permit, you understand, an employer specific work permit or an open work permit, you would find out quickly that most of the money that you are going to be making under the work permit will be going to the caregiver, and you will just really have stipends at the end of the month to survive with. So if you are not a millionaire, you understand, from your own country, and I'm not talking about just tens of millions, I'm talking about you having quite a lump sum of amount that you can use to afford childcare in Canada, it's best for you to go as a permanent resident. Do you understand? In order to be able to have much more opportunities to, you understand, to continue as, you understand, a student in Canada under the permanent residency route. You are going to pay less as a permanent resident in Canada if you go as a permanent resident, but you go and study. Do you understand? After getting your permanent residency status. Likewise, you can actually work 2-3 more jobs and not get restricted like the international students, even though in Canada now, the Minister of Immigration has permitted students, international students, to work more than 20 hours, but still you cannot forfeit, or it is not going to make sense to forfeit your study in your college or university to actually pursue, you understand, working full time, because it's going to affect your produce or your ability to actually excel in school. And as a result of that, it will affect still your studentship in the school and your study permit at the end of the day. Do you understand? So just like one of our attendees actually asked, yes, I went through the study route, the permanent residency route. I didn't go through study because I didn't want to be restricted. Likewise, I didn't actually just go through the permanent residency route with the popular IELTS people do, the English-based exam. I actually wrote the TEF Canada exam after learning French. Do you understand? Excelled in the TEF Canada exam, and it was very much easy for me to get invited by the Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program, which is the OINP Mr. Gabriel talked about, and even get selected by the Quebec Skilled Worker Program. And later on, I finally chose to actually process my own Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program. Because why? Nomination from Ontario, Canada, which is the capital of the country, it's much better. It provides me with much tentacles, just like being in Lagos, Nigeria, you understand, over here. So I would advise, if you are someone that is going with your family members, I would advise you to go through the what? Through the OINP, which is a provincial nominee program under permanent residency. And it depends if it is under the express entry, if it's the enhanced provincial nominee program, best for you. Because why? You would be able to get, you understand, easily approved to relocate to Canada by the province and also the federal government of Canada. If the province have approved you for relocation to Canada under the express entry enhanced provincial nominee program, it is always mostly difficult for the federal government to reject that particular application after you have actually gotten a nomination from the province. So I advise you, if you don't want to be restricted in Canada, do you understand? If you are going with your family members, and if you want to JAPA in the total sense of it, that okay, you want to JAPA permanently, you don't want to come back to your home country, under the study visa route, you may still need to come back to your country, especially when you don't know and you go and actually get an admission from a school that is not a designated learning institute, or if you even got an admission for a program that doesn't allow postgraduate work permits in Canada. That means you will not be able to work, you understand, after your program in Canada, and would have to come back to your home country. And it is only after then you now have to actually process permanent residency again, what you could have actually done successfully the first time and just relocated quite easily without having to face the problems of the international student route. However, the choice is yours. Any process, any route, any pathway you choose, you are the one that would actually afford it. You are the one that would pay for it. You are the one that would, you understand, get to live in Canada either as a temporary resident or a permanent resident. But I hope that answers the question. Thank you very much for joining us for this Q&A session. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not. Hit on the notification bar to get notified anytime we drop a content. Like and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you very much, and I do hope to see you in the next Q&A session. Bye for now.